If there ever was a way to bounce back from a loss, the Blue Bullets sure figured it out Friday night in Cuba. Knoxville controlled the game from the opening kickoff and put up a quick 36 points in the first half. Defensively, the guys played fast and with purpose. Coach Turner highlights the all-around team effort and talks how to keep it rolling this week, entering the home opener. This week, the Blue Bullets welcome to town Bureau Valley. Knoxville will be looking to avenge the big loss from last season and make it 2 in a row. Here is Timeout with Coach Turner. Week 3, the Storm. All right, I am back with Coach Turner after week 2 is in the books. Knoxville bounced back. We went to Cuba, faced the LVC Miners. Following their first week loss, Knoxville pulls off the 36-6. Pretty lopsided victory, really. I know the score is lopsided, but it could have been way worse. So, Coach Turner, thank you for meeting up with me again.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me in again.
I'm guessing as far as a first week loss goes, if there's a way you could pick to bounce back, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked last week, there was a lot of things to fix for every team in the state, but I'm super proud of the kids and the coaches on staff, and we've corrected a lot of those mistakes. Like we talked last week, a lot of the things that hurt us week 1 were penalties, and I think we only had 2 penalties all night. So we corrected those minor things, and there's things to build on, but super proud of the kids and the staff getting the kids lined up and straightened up how we wanted them to go, and it was a good week.
Yeah, and it got a lot of, almost practically everybody on the roster got a chance to do something, it seemed like, you know. So,
every kid that was eligible to play got in the game.
Yeah. So from start to finish, the game in every aspect from my angle, we controlled what we wanted to do, when we wanted to do it. The run game was working with all the backs. They all couldn't have scored. Did they all score? I don't remember. We'll get. But which obviously the backs don't have a game unless up front's doing their job. So also with passing, I know everybody likes to say Knoxville needs to pass more. Well, okay. Bradley Cummings had a few good balls, not necessarily completions, but had a few, but the balls looked good, which was promising.
Yeah, I joked with the coaching staff after the game. I said, I think I set a new history. I think I might have been the first coach in Knoxville history called pass play, first offensive play of the game.
Yeah, we did notice that. Yeah. We're like, oh, crap.
But, we had good field position. I saw some things in the scouting report that thought we could take advantage of it. And I've been saying it since I took the job, like, if teams give us things in the throw game, we're going to take it. My goal is to force them to defend the pass, and then it opens up our run game, which we've been really strong at. The kids did a great job embracing the game plan. We opened up with a pass that was incomplete, and then we came back and marched the ball, and it was a good night overall.
Yeah. So on the offensive side of the ball, like I said, you had Bryden Walters, Easton Harshbarger, Tanner McGarry, and James Long. Did I miss anybody in the back? We're talking first half mainly now.
That's
maybe Bradley.
Bradley had to carry it, and then one of our penalties, he had a touchdown called back.
Yeah. So I guess each of those guys, I felt like they had pretty successful. We'll just start with it. Bryden Walters, he had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 7 carries, 106 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I guess if you want to, do you have them all right there?
Yeah, and then let's see. Tanner McGarry had 1 carry for 13 yards. Easton Harshbarger had 6 carries for 67. Austin Harshbarger had 1 carry for 14 yards and a touchdown. Easton Harshbarger had a touchdown too, and then James Long had 2 carries for 33 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, so that was good to see all those guys getting in the mix. How many? What was Bradley's passing yards? We had a couple completions, didn't we?
Just one. He was 1 of 3
Okay.
For 45 yards. But, watching back on film, all 3 attempts probably could have been touchdowns if, there's some things cleaned up there. But, that's good that we're getting open.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, it felt like, like last week could have been first game, nerves. It could have been, really the level of competition as well. But the backs seem to be getting after it harder than they were against Elmwood, which is good to see build that confidence up.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you hinted on earlier, the offensive line, they set the tone for everything we want to do in our run game and pass game, and they've been really, really good both weeks. The backs we got so much team speed. We really do. And, they're playing faster and more confident, and that's our goal. There's more things we want to add in, but I told them we got to get fast and confident in what we're doing right now. And you can see that, so we can start adding some more things into our run game, throw game, formations, and things like that. But we talked all week that we want to impose our will on any team we play. Like,
right.
Let's come out fast and make teams adapt to how we want to play and be the most physical team at all 11 positions. And I thought we did a good job of that Friday night.
Absolutely. On the defensive side of the ball, we were getting great pressure. You had a stat there of tackles for loss, which is pretty high. Yeah,
I think we had 15 total tackles for loss across the board. So, we were getting in the backfield and controlling the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
So it was a great job up front.
And same as the offensive side, it seemed like the defense was playing with more speed and pop as they were week 1. They were just, from one side of the field to the other, tracking the ball better, getting where they needed to be, and not being hesitant.
Yeah, in our staff meeting this morning, we were talking our team speed on defense. Like, the slowest kid on our defense still runs pretty well.
Right.
So our team speed on defense really, really benefits us. We had guys run to the football, scraping off blocks and doing all those things that it takes to be a really, really good defense.
So we'll just say the starters, 'cause that's, your A team. They played the first half, and I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
You came out with JV second half. That's good to see, because I thought the JV, although, LVC is a program that's down, but, you had a freshman quarterback out there. You had freshmen, sophomores out there holding their own against guys that have been there, done that.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I kind of limited what they could do offensively. I told them, we're going to stay in our base formation and run our base stuff, and rotate guys through. And the kids, the staff did a great job of. We had to call one timeout because we didn't have the right guys out there. Other than that, we got all the guys out there, and they rotated in and talked to each other, and our JV got off the ball and looked really, really good. And that was my goal, is if we get up like that, to get all those kids that feeling of what it likes to be in a varsity game. And that's cool for those kids.
Absolutely. They did not, unfortunately, they didn't score. I know that's not the big thing. They would have loved it. But, not Elmwood, sorry. LVC's 6 points came on right towards the end of the game, a 40-some yard break free for a score. So it's not by any means that our second team defense was getting rolled by any means.
No, we moved the ball the whole second half. I think we got down to the 5, and I think we had a penalty there and backed us up a little bit, and that drive stalled out. And then, like you said, defensively, we played just fine. They busted off a long run there, last play of the game, which guys were still playing hard, and they just made their kid made a good play, and that happens.
Yeah, and you just touched on this a little bit, but how important is it to have these opportunities to get the young kids in, not only to get their nerves out, get them used to it, but kind of so they, a lot of times a freshman doesn't feel like a varsity player.
Yeah.
But they did this time. So now, is it good for the locker room as well?
Yeah, I think it's good across the board. I mean, you think back to Coach Flesher's sophomore year, he was a JV quarterback, and then the starting quarterback goes down, and then the backup goes down, and then he gets thrown in there. Like, Logan Bowker's that close to a couple freak accidents to having to take snaps, just as an example. And that's any position across the board. When it comes to football, everyone wants to talk about the quarterback position, and that stands out the most. But, like, those kids are literally a snap or two of a bad break away to having to get varsity snaps. And, that's a good experience for me. And I think back to that Elmwood game, our biggest problem was we talked, in our preseason interview that we had a lot of seniors coming back, but we didn't have a lot of seniors coming back with varsity starts.
Yeah.
So getting that first varsity experience was huge, and I think that paid off this week. The steps we took forward were big, and now the JV's getting that experience, and that just another step forward for them. Yeah,
it was definitely good to see everybody get to play a role, and feel the action. Plus, it's also good to, the starting group was out there, and now they get a little extra rest. They get 2 quarters off. A lot of times in those games, that's when stupid injuries happen. Somebody goes down, and then you're in a pickle.
Yeah, and I had, people congratulate me and tell me good job, and one person in particular who drove the bus, Jeff Putnam, probably maybe the best football player ever in Knoxville history. He said he was proud of the way we won. He's like, because
really, you could have won by 50 or 60 if you wanted, but nobody wants to do that.
And my years of experience, I've been on their end.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been there, I didn't back the JV off at all. I told those kids to go 100%, like, don't back off at all. Right. But, if the JV scores, the JV scores. But, we don't need to keep our number ones out there and try to prove a point. There's no point to be proven.
Right.
We did that in the first half.
We talked a little bit before we started, like, all kids, we could have got the shutout, but I give credit to LVC's players and staff and fans. I mean, it's got to be it, because they've been down for years. It's got to be a hard job showing up every day. But, they broke off that big run. Granted, it was against our JV, but their excitement, like, it made you feel good. Like, okay, good. They got something positive out of this too. It wasn't just like, so you don't ever want to see that, because like you just said,
and
when you're on the receiving end of it.
Talking to Coach Washball this weekend, he's like, people lose perspective. These are 15 to 18-year-old kids playing the game, like, on both sides.
Yeah. So overall summary, great confidence builder, bouncing back from Elmwood Brimfield. Looked like a totally different team. Like I said, some of that goes, to the competition you're playing against, but we were much more loose and fast and confident. So that's definitely what you want following a week 1 loss, bouncing back. Now your record's even. 1-1 has a lot better ring than 0-2.
Yeah, absolutely.
The hole, now you're back to level at least. You're not looking up at the top of the hole. So other than all around, anybody like stand out, highlights, a good team effort?
Yeah, it was just a great team effort. A lot of, like we talked about, the rushing side and guys that got to carry the ball and score and stuff. And it was literally a team effort across the board, like offensively, defensively, special teams. Like, we were good in all 3 phases, and we got to build on that again next week.
Right. I noticed, as high school teams or any team does, like last week, you could start to see some tension amongst players on the field when I think Elmwood had that pass to the corner for a score and saying, like, but I noticed this time a lot of kids running over to pick their teammates up. It's just mentally more than physically. Like, it was good to see. Hopefully, your practice shows that this week too, going into the rest of the season.
Yeah, we had a week of practice where we had some life lessons to learn.
Yeah.
And I told them that practice, I said, 1 of 2 things will happen. You guys are going to divide, and this season's going to go down the drain, or you're going to have to come together for a common goal, and we're going to have a successful season like I expect. And they showed that they were going to come together, and hopefully we continue to move that way.
Yeah, I know it was a sketchy week at practice here and there, but it did not affect them. So transitioning into week 3, which I guess we are in week 3 officially. We are going to start the home opener, whatever, against Bureau Valley. They bring a record of 0-2. They have been outscored 96-16 their first 2 games. A St. Bede lost 47-6. Anawan Weathersfield 49-10. I guess what are you looking at this week, preparing for the storm?
Yeah, I mean, Bureau Valley's a good team, and they've been a good team for a long time. And they've struggled those first 2 weeks, but they've played 2 really good teams too.
Yeah.
So those scores can be a little deceiving. And then on top of it, they got a future Hall of Fame coach in Pat Elder that is going to have those guys ready to go. So I got to get our guys focused that those scores are deceiving. They're a better team than what those scores show. So we got to be prepared for that Friday.
I know last year we thought, well, by we, like talking to Ritz, Heb here and there, just it was a beatable. We thought going up there was a winnable game, a beatable team, and I forgot to look up they piss pounded us.
Yeah,
I think
we laid an egg up there bad last year.
And I don't think it was so much that they beat us that bad as we beat ourselves that bad.
Yeah, and we allowed it. Like I mentioned last week about Elmwood, we fought back. We made it a game instead of letting it in. Up there, Bureau Valley last year, we let it snowball into a 40-point game when it shouldn't have been that way.
Well, I think there's some extra stuff going on Friday night. It's the home opener. They're coming off a big win. I just have a gut feeling they're going to be amped up for it, all the way from coaching staff down, through the kids, which I think is what they're going to need. But speaking of the extras, this Friday, we're honoring the 1990 quarterfinal team, which I believe most of them will be in attendance.
Yeah, I think there's right around 30 coming back, including the coaching staff. Most of them are coming back too.
So it'll be not only a good night of football, but a good night of, I guess, history, really, because that team and the 88 team, I mean, there's only about 4 teams that Knoxville talks about.
Yeah.
And this is one of them. So that'll be fun. Good atmosphere, a couple special recognitions, special things for the game. So, other than that, I think this week you're just going to press on, preparing as normal. Hopefully the kids buy into it for the week and carry that positive feeling from Friday night over. So we will be at Dennis Larson Field. Kickoff is 7:00. Is there pregame festivities for this one, or is it half?
Just halftime is we're going to honor the 90 team.
Yeah, so they will be announced. Come on out. The band's going to be there. I don't know. They doing food trucks for the games too?
I think it's just Booster Club, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
No, don't quote me on that. I thought they were thinking about it. I know, but I don't know how to end up. But it should be a great night. It should be back to 90 degrees according to the weather right now. So that'll be an adjustment. I'll be sure to pound water and mine at home for the week.
Yeah, hopefully the kids do the same thing.
But I appreciate you coming in, giving us a quick rundown. We look forward to the home opener. We look forward to getting another win in that column before we face the meat of the schedule, the heart of it. But we will see you next week, and I appreciate your time.
All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you.